Alrighty, doing a couple of new recordings today. Still pretty new at this whole notion of trying to talk to a non-existent audience while I'm trying to play my games here. So if you have any advice for me, all like three people who actually watch these, I'm certainly open to it. If you'd rather just hear the game and not me blathering on, I am perfectly okay with that. If you like hearing what I have to say about the game, that's cool too. So here we are firing up the newest NBA 2K. I had played NBA Live and reviewed it not too long ago. It was okay. There was a lot of little glitches that came along. The series has certainly improved over last year. But let's be real here. NBA 2K has really kind of been the dominant basketball game for about the last decade now. And that really hasn't changed. Got a couple of different modes here I'm going to take a look at. As you can see here, you've got your main menu, lots of different options. I have really been spending the vast majority of my time with two modes. I've played with my team a little bit. Basically think of it like the Madden Ultimate Team.
On this week's episode of NBA 2K
NBA Ultimate
recap
Teams.
last week's My Park Championship. Show off your top plays.
It's okay. I prefer the GM mode and the My Career modes though. So I'm going to take a quick poke at the My GM mode to show you where we're at with that. I'll break this recording up into a handful of smaller parts, so there'll be a couple of pauses. The recording software that I'm using is really solid. Basically, I'm using RE Central with the Paper Media capture card, and I've really been digging that. But sometimes when I record a really long session, like an entire sports game, I've noticed that it does sometimes crash afterwards. It hasn't really cost me any videos yet, so that's been a good sign. So here I'm playing my Pistons franchise. There's a couple of weird things I've noticed in this though so far. So you've got things like your GM. You're basically running this here. Now goals and promises, I noticed one kind of interesting, I don't know if I call it a bug or what, but let's try to make our fans happy when we win at home. Win at least 19 home games. Well, I picked the shortened 26 game schedule. So I don't know how that's going to work out unless most of these tend to be home games, but I can't help but wonder if maybe that's just an unattainable goal that didn't scale properly because of the shortened season mode that I selected. I'll have to kind of comment on that one a little bit later. Yeah, I went ahead and stopped here right before the Sunds game. Main reason being, I'm obviously a huge Pistons fan, Detroit guy, bad boys, all that. But the Phoenix Suns boys
It's the
been my second
2K Sports
favorite team, so I
pregame
thought this
show.
would be kind of a fun one to go ahead and show
Hello,
off.
basketball fans. Welcome to the
probably
NBA
lose.
on 2K Sports, along
I've
with Kenny
won
the
so
Jet
far,
Smith
but I
and
eked out
Shaquille
a couple
O'Neal.
of those victories.
I'm Ernie Johnson. For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Detroit Pistons as they go up against the Phoenix Suns. For Phoenix, this is their first time facing off this season. Last year, they split the season series at a game apiece. Detroit had some players leave over the summer and over last season as well. It's a young team. Looks like they're going to try and build around Andre Drummond. How do they go about that, Kenny?
Well, Drummond's not a big threat from the outside. So, you have to have a stretch four that could help him out a lot. Then he'd have room for interior. They drafted Stanley Johnson. The kid is going to be pretty special. And spacing around the perimeter is going to help, and that will make Detroit a much
I'm
better
going to
team.
skip that, but the presentation's been pretty cool. One thing I'm going to be curious about in later seasons is, like, are they still talking about the same things to the Pistons?
A look at the east over downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Still glowing in the evening twilight. Welcome, fans. Thanks for joining us for this Friday night edition of the NBA on 2K Sports.
This year I've got a pretty
I'm
different
Kevin Harlan
rotation.
alongside
Some
Clark
of the
Keller
goals
and
that were
Greg
set for me
Anthony.
were to go ahead and trade away
Last downing for
for
Phoenix,
different kinds of
the loss to
players.
Sacramento. And they were still in that
I went
one
ahead and
right
did
up
that.
to the
Normally I
end,
just kind of
guys,
run
but
with
lost
whatever
by
my
a couple of
first
buckets.
season roster looks
And
like.
it seemed
Trying to make my
inevitable
coach's
that they
goals.
were
I did a
going to
couple of
lose
things,
that
picked up
game
nice
with how
draft
they
picks.
struggled, but in the end, they had an
Danny
opportunity
Green,
to win.
who's been
Yeah,
huge for
Greg,
me
but
so
to
far
me
in
it
this.
appeared as though they just had heavy legs. I mean, just looked to
Wow,
be very
okay, what
tired
is
out
with
there at
my,
the end.
And a look at the starters for the Pistons.
I hate the uniforms.
Reggie
right now
Jackson
because
out there
both
with
teams look
Green.
identical.
Then it's Johnson. Then there's Andre Drummond. And it's Porzingis in at the 4. Warren, good.
Well, I like the way they're sharing
They
the ball,
beat it,
and
right?
Bledsoe right in the middle, spreading
Thoroughly
it around.
confused by that. Not
Phoenix
gonna lie,
on
I haven't seen that
defense.
happen before.
One thing about Eric Bledsoe, he made it clear he wanted to be paid like an upper-tier
Alrighty.
player, and that led to quite a negotiation between he and the Suns last year. Ultimately, the two sides agreed to a 5-year, $70 million deal.
And he's starting to get what he wants here early and often. Nice move.
To the paint. Here's Morris. That's tipped. They get it back. No good from Bledsoe. Now Detroit moving it up. Green with the ball. And it's Knight picking him up. Here's Jackson. Good on the three-point shot. Talking about Eric Bledsoe's contract, many insiders felt like it was too much for a sporadic talent. We knew that he was the good backup in Los Angeles with the Clippers and going to Phoenix in a more prominent role. You know, but he went on to have a dynamic season, proving that, you know, Greg, and you know this position so well, he has the ability to be one of the best league's combo guards, I think.
I agree. I mean, consistency will tell the tale when it comes to Bledsoe.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm very perimeter-oriented. Right now,
just were up last year, but his
so
shooting percentages were down. So is Bledsoe a near max level
pretty
player?
Good at taking those jump shots. Some pretty cool tools built into this.
And that one comes up a bit short.
Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 fall.
There's an option you can turn on.
Last season, the Pistons didn't reach the playoffs for the 6th consecutive season. They're making progress, but as we can all see, still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you know, they were spoiled for a while there. How about going to the playoffs for 1996 to 2009? So it's been a rough stretch here of late, but you get the feeling that the building blocks are in place for another push.
Pretty cool.
And I bet
handy
most
early on
people
when I was
forget that
learning
the
the
Pistons
ropes.
did make the playoffs for 8 straight years before this current drought. It's been a long rebuild process for them recently, but I think they're making progress and moving in the right direction.
The same buttons for passing. One of the things I like about this one
Now
is
Jackson.
A nice little
An
bounce
11-point game for him in the win against Indiana.
And also give him credit for his ability to pass the basketball. He was always looking for the open man.
Here's Porzingis. Pistons passing it around. And he gets the bucket.
And for the Pistons,
Kinda how
they
I'm
seem
hoping
to
the
have a
Pistons will play
direction
this year.
and
Sadly, we
plan
don't
now
have,
that just wasn't the case before. It won't
but
be easy to get
a lot
back
of,
into the
focus on
postseason,
Drummond.
but I really feel like they are on the right track. Tit for tat right there, huh, guys?
Didn't take them long at all, fellas, to get those 3 points back.
They set the screen off the pick. Oh, and there's the one-handed jam.
That's the other thing I do a
And
lot
very
of pick and
little
roll, especially
fight
with
put
Andre
up
Drummond.
by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
You can
It
see
seems
very
that
much
every
taking
pass they
advantage
make
of the
is leading
slow
to a score
rotation
here. I
on
mean, that's
defense.
just
I
exquisite
did play
ball
one
movement.
game at a higher
And that's
level
because the
difficulty.
ball is looking
that did
for the
not
best
end well.
shot,
I didn't
and it's
do it
really
in my
paid off for
franchise
them
year where I'm
during the
still
run.
undefeated.
Hey
But,
guys, Porzingis
yeah,
was
they shot
almost
the lights
rookie
out of him.
last season, but he
Of course, I was playing the Warriors at the
early
time.
injury and wait a year for this past summer's draft. Seems to have worked out for him as far as how his draft stock has changed.
This gives you a pretty good
checked
idea
in
of
for
how the game
Phoenix.
plays. How it
P.J.
looks.
Tucker comes in for T.J. Warren.
You know, the dynamic camera, all
And
that
taken
stuff.
away by
Everything
Johnson.
looks awesome.
Pass break Detroit. Here's Green, and it's in off the backboard.
You can really kind of
Green's
get a
got
feel
9
for the
points.
momentum.
You know, there's
that
no
this thing
better
can
sign
build
of how
up. Like,
efficiently a
in
team
my
is
last game,
operating
I
than their
barely
assist numbers.
won.
And
Came
theirs
right
are
down to the
fantastic.
wire.
Just beautiful
And that,
when they play the game
that
like
was
this.
back and forth affair with a lot of
Greg,
bricks
you're right
in
with
my cars.
Porzingis.
This
It
one,
made
I
sense
hit
for
a
him
few
to
shots
wait
early
one
on.
more year. Mark has a lot to learn, but still comes over, as a much talked about player, much better player than had he declared last season.
I agree with you, yet he'll still need time to develop, but all the ingredients are there. He's got a chance to be a really good player.
Yeah, the Latvian had a great shot for his height. It'll be an interesting stretch for in the NBA.
Good call.
But it's a lot
And
less
Phoenix making a
repetitive in this
change
game
here.
than some of the other
Lures
ones
checked
that I
in.
played.
Pass to Porzingis. Johnson outside. Feeds to Jackson. Green kicks to Jackson. It's tipped.
Yep,
Stolen by Tucker. Knight against Green. Here's Tucker. Here's Len. And he tucks it home.
And how about the offensive rebound
really
with a
hating
little
the
extra
similarity
punch
in
on
uniforms.
the putback?
Must
You're
have
right,
pushed
Craig.
something
As they
beforehand
look to
change
trim the
uniform?
deficit,
I don't know.
could
They
we
should
see
not
them
be
send a
blue,
few
though.
more bodies to the board
Not
from here
ideal.
on out? Maybe, just maybe.
Well, I don't think it would be a bad idea, Kevin. I mean, they could use all the second chance points they can get.
Here's Jackson. Following the score by Phoenix. He got an advantage there off the pick and took it right in.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Well, everything's coming too easily. I mean, at some point defensively, you have to take something away.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And the thing about Eric Bledsoe, he's an absolutely terrific athlete. Insane athletic ability, his speed with the ball, especially Greg in the open court. Remarkable.
Yeah, and when he gets a full head of steam, look out. He goes beast mode, if you will, on the basketball floor. He really, truly is like a running back in the open field.
Kenneth Faried, he's checked in for Detroit. Marcus Morris comes in for Johnson. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Here's Bledsoe. Can't get it to go. Some solid defense there from Jackson.
Talking about Bledsoe, one area where he has to improve his turnovers. He averaged over 3.5 turnovers a game. You can't be a championship point guard if you're not squeezing the orange.
And thinking a little bit more about Eric Bledsoe, yes, he could be more efficient. But his combination of points, assists, and rebounds per game is outstanding. If he focuses in and listens to his coaches, we could be talking about him in the upper echelon of point guard.
Sonny Weems checks in for the Suns. And a switcher also for Detroit. Sanders is checked in. Jackson dishes to Green. Screen by Sanders. Faried setting the pick for Green. Shot clock at 3, and Faried throws it down.
And how about the grasp they had on the game plan for this one?
You know, I know it's early, but I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say we could be headed for a blowout unless something dramatically changes and fast.
A nice shot by Knight. 36 seconds left in the first quarter.
It's kind of like never felt like
Green kicks to Morris. Pass to Sanders. Knight against Jackson. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Jackson's got 5 now.
They've been hot here early, dropping them in left and right.
I've noticed that in a few of my other
games
We'll
see how long they can keep
I operate out of the pick and roll a lot, which is pretty fun.
Passes it to Tucker.
But you can, shade
Fires
that picker
from the
over,
wing.
and the defense
No
reacts
good.
even before
Well, I
it
think he
gets
kind of
there.
alligator armed that one, short-stroked it. After doing a nice job to get open, he didn't finish the shot.
So very TV presentation style here. I will go ahead and pause for a moment and start a new video clip.